Guys, welcome to Tuesday Talk. It's that time again. It just seems like it rolls around so quickly, and that's a good thing. Um, except for I am trying to get ready to do this move, and it seems like time is really going too fast. So, boy, Facebook, it looks like it's really dark. I don't know. So anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. We are going to be upcycling some funky junk tonight. So um, I always do that show around the Alleghenies, the Money Talks, and I have to do it tomorrow and record it tomorrow. And I realized this afternoon I really didn't have too many things, like nothing ready. So so we're going to do a couple projects tonight. So one of the things that I wanted to do, one of the things that I really like to do is chair seats. I just think they're really cool. So this is an old chair seat. So we're going to upcycle this and make this a cool little wall hanging thing. So that's one. And then we were going to do another chair seat. And this one, it just looked like old leather. It was so beat up and I just loved it. On the back of it, it had, these things were actually bent down. So I bent them up this way. And then we're using this chain, which we're going to rust to hang it with. So I already kind of got started on this one. Hey Kathleen, how are you? We're doing funky junk tonight. So I put some Prime Start on here already because we're going to do patina. So Prime Start is this color, and you don't need it when you're doing, that's good, when you're doing the patina on wood or any other surface, but when you're painting on metal, you need to use this stuff first. And I want to show you something cool. So I also brought home this color called Rusty Nail. This was the color, I told you this before, that they created because people wanted this color. So it looks a little darker, but it's pretty close. So anyway, that's Rusty Nail. We're going to be using that a little bit later. So what we're doing, and I'll put the screen down. Pardon my hand. So, and look at my hands, by the way. Look at all the paint on my hands. I just, I'll clean up for the show tomorrow, but I just gave up. It's been just crazy lately. Okay, so we're going to use iron patina. I didn't get this completely covered. You have a metal dresser to paint. Oh, wow. Are you going to do patina on it? Okay, so when you're using the patina paint, this is iron. That's my favorite. You always want to shake it up. Now, okay. If it's real shiny, good idea to use the slick stick. Stripes. Oh, that'll be cool. You're going to have to send a picture of that. Okay, so I'm putting this iron on right on top. Oh, Grizz is joining us this evening. Here's my dog, Grizz. He's got to get down, buddy. I love it. Except for sometimes he gets a little aggressive here. Okay, get down, buddy. You got to get down. Okay, so we're just going to, yeah, slick stick. That's a good idea. Okay. Grizz, get down, bud. Mom can't paint. So I don't think Facebook, I don't think you saw the guest cameo by Grizz. Maybe you can see him. So I am using iron patina, and the way you do this is you put one coat on and you let it dry. And if you're just tuning in, I put Prime Start on it first because we're using it on metal. And, you know, this chain is more funky junk. You know, I never throw anything away, obviously, which is making my current moving situation a lot of fun. But the chain, you know, when I was at my old store in Juniata, one day somebody came in and they said, "Do you want to buy this roll of chain for $15?" And I was like, maybe, you know, so I ended up buying it. And I'm so glad I did. I use it for everything. I have a pair of channel locks and I cut the pieces apart when I need them. And it's really cool. Okay, so I'm just kind of dabbing at that and I'm going to let that sit and dry. And then we'll come back to that to do the patina. So we're doing things that we've done before. We're doing stenciling tonight, and we're also going to do the patina, which we've done. We're going to do a mold. We're using air dry clay for it. So we're going to work on this one, though, because this is the one I have in front of me. And I'm going to carefully move this chain out of the way. So what I thought, so first of all, this thing was really super dirty and I really loved the way it looked. Then I cleaned it and then I didn't really like the way it looked anymore. But we're going to do our best to return it to its, but then as it dried it kind of started looking grungy again, which I love. But we're going to do our best to return it to its former jungy, grungy look by using Dixie dirt. I brought two different kinds of dirt, earth and this was the original dirt. So we're going to make it look dirty again, rusty and dirty, just my kind of thing. So what I thought we would do is use one of the Silkscreen Stencils. And honestly, I don't love the writing on this. First of all, it's not, to me, old truck rusty makes no sense. So I think I don't even want the words. So let's cut the truck out. And then I have this stencil. And this has all kinds of other stuff that wouldn't really pertain. It's a JRB stencil. But I think we can use the laurel wreath and put the truck in there. So that's kind of what my thought process is. So let's get rid of the words on here. And as much as I really like the font on here where it says old truck, but it's kind of like, you know how when people have cars or trucks and, you know, they know it's a Chevy, but then they go to great lengths to put Chevy on there. Like, oh, it wasn't enough that the manufacturer said it was a Chevy. I don't know. That's just me. Overthinking things as usual. Oh, yes, I saw. I was watching, as a matter of fact, I started watching the video earlier, Zeb and Jamie, and I interrupted it to get ready for my Tuesday talk. So, okay, so I'm just kind of positioning this sort of in the middle, just kind of eyeballing it. I always try to measure with something, kind of like Zeb does. He uses his arm. So I'm using my hands. Okay, and this is a Silkscreen Stencil. So that means that instead of being open like this, it has little screen in the openings. So you can actually use more paint and get a crisper image. So what we're using is Sawmill Gravy, because I thought that might kind of pop off of this dark leather. So I don't think that I have a stencil brush here, but I have this green brush that came from the Dollar Tree and a bunch of other brushes. It's super stiff. It's almost too stiff. So I use it as a stencil brush sometimes. Okay, so this is like one of my favorite colors is Sawmill Gravy. You know what? I think, can you hear how stiff that is? I almost think maybe I left Pent, you bought the lace stencil. The transfer? Oh, their lace stencil. Okay. I almost think there's paint left in here. I actually just got a couple of their decoupage papers the other day. I got the butterflies and the toile. I love toile. So I'm sure you'll see that on an upcoming project. I'm going to try to cruise through these things here tonight. No, not from IOD, from Jamie, JRB. They have a toile decoupage paper. So, but yes, I love the toile. I think it's a transfer. Okay, so I'm going to peel this off. Now this is sticky too, and you can reuse it up to 10 times. Now, for whatever reason, I didn't get a super crisp image. Maybe because the surface I'm working on is a little bit flexible. But you can wash those and reuse them. So I'm going to lift this up so you can see. I'm going to do it upside down. So, but we have our truck so far. And then I'm going to put this, I want to put this around the outside edge, but I think I better wait a minute till that dries. Otherwise, I'm going to muddy that up. So, let me see here. Okay, let's work on our chain a little bit, and then we'll come back to that. All these logistics here going on. Okay, so hopefully my sprayer is going to work. Am I doing the challenge? The spring challenge? Yes, I am. My piece is already done. It's already sold and already delivered. So I just have to finish editing my video and we're good to go. Then I'm actually hosting the next one after that. We're doing a show me your workshop. So I hope my workshop's done by then. Okay, so I'm putting a second coat of the iron on my chain here. And you know, chain is a little difficult to paint because it keeps moving around. So I keep, it really doesn't matter to me if some of the original stuff shows through. I'm going to be patinaing my scissors. That's probably not a good idea. So anyway, while the second coat is wet, then you want to spray your patina spray. And if my spray doesn't spray that well, sounds like I'm making a poem. If my spray doesn't spray that well, then I'll just take the lid off and dab it. And you always want to shake all of these patina products because they have metal particles in them and they separate. Okay, not spraying that well. Let me try adjusting this. Now the reason probably for this is because you should take the sprayer off in between uses because it can kind of corrode that the sprayer. But of course I never do anything I'm supposed to do, so that's probably why. But then again, I tried doing that before and I still had trouble, so you know, it's just me. So I'm just taking the lid off and taking a paper towel and just dabbing it on there very generously. so what happens is we get a reaction, and it actually rests. I like the way it looks already. It's one of those things you can just kind of watch happen, but I'm adding a good bit to it. Okay. Okay, again, I'm gonna flip this around a little bit. Hopefully our stencil's kind of dry enough that I can put this other one over it. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna fan it just a second. It's funny, I can see in the light it kind of drying a little as I do that. Trying to think, do I want to use another color? I think I might want to stick with the Sawmill Gravy. My only other choice is Caviar, which would not show up on here, or the Rusty Nail, which I don't think so. I don't know. Let's just do this, because I just think that shows up better. And let's see. I'll get this brush out again. Now you can do the patina on, you don't just have to do it on metal. You can do it on anything. Looks great on wood. Okay, so I'm trying to center this a little bit. It's going to go a little bit over the truck. So that makes me question my colors now. I'm thinking, should I use the Rusty Nail? I think I might. It's a woman's prerogative to change your mind, right? Is this for my shop? You know what? It is, but I'm saving it for the new one, because I'm vowing not to take anything else in the old shop. Not the old shop, I'm still there, but I'm just vowing that nothing else is going in. Everything is coming out. So once it's gone, it's going to go into storage until I get the new place, because, you know, I've been bringing everything up and selling it, and so, you know, I'm going to want some new stuff. So, okay, so unlike the other stencil where you leave a lot of the paint on, with this kind of stencil, you want to get as much of the paint off as you can. Speaking of stencils, I'm working in a kitchen right now. Hopefully tomorrow's my last day. But I've done the counters and the cabinets and the backsplash, and I used a Dixie Belle stencil for the backsplash, and it looks really cool. I'll definitely share pictures on my social media. Over here, I'm doing a little swirling, and over here I did the tapping because I was going over that other color. So I'm just offloading a little bit. I don't know whether I like this color or not, but you know what? It'll be fine. I'll love it. I'm just anxious to get all the dirt on it. But I might set it aside and come back to it, because I want to make sure my paint is really dry before I start putting wax and dirt on there. I love Dixie Belle names. Dirt, mud. Some of the paint names are funny too. I love the names of any company's paint names. But all the Dixie Belle ones are kind of, you know, Southern related, so. Okay, let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna lift this stencil up. All right, that's what we have. Okay, I'm gonna set this one aside, chain and all. Just gonna have to be careful. And then let's pull up our other seat, okay? And so I thought it was appropriate for a seat that we say something about sitting. So I have this stencil that says, kick off your boots and stay a while. This was a stencil from Joann's, and it isn't the best stencil. Let me show you why. So, like here in the B, if you can see that, I'm pushing this and it's moving. So you kind of want to watch that. You're definitely going to have to stipple and not do a circular motion with that one. So before I put that on, I'm going to use, again, I'm going to do another JRV. I've been using this grain sack stripe like crazy lately. And I'll do that in the Rusty Nail, I think. And then we'll do the other in the Sawmill Gravy. So let's use this as our guide. So we have a straight stencil. I keep putting that brush back in the water, getting it back out again. Did I lose you for a minute, Kathleen? Oh. Yeah, I watch her too. Yeah, she's Yvonne, right? And I'm Lavon. Oh, yes, well, she does grain sack stencils a lot, or she does grain sack a lot, but she uses tape. And, you know, I could use tape too, and I have done it that way, but I kind of prefer I like the stencil. Now I could do these outside stripes in one color and do another color on the inside one if I wanted to. But most of the time when you find grain sack stripes, they're usually all one color. So we'll just kind of stick with that. So I'm just kind of patting along the line until I get a direction going. Not really worried about being totally perfect with this. I can always sand it and kind of give it a distressed look. I just want to be careful not to get those little stripes out of the way. Or how do I want to say? I don't want to move them out of the way so that they get messed up. All right. Okay. So it isn't perfect, but that's okay. Now, I think maybe I was going to use the sawmill gravy, but I think maybe I'll use the my caviar. And again, I'm just kind of fanning this a little bit to dry it off a little. So I'm impatient. So let's see. I would say that this line here, you were yawning. That's okay. I hope I'm not putting you to sleep. So I'm going to think of that as my center, this line right here, and just kind of center it in there. And of course I don't have any tape, so I'm just going to hold it down. Okay, now I do want to be careful with this. Like I said, let's see if I have another brush that's kind of a little softer, but not too soft. This one might work. Okay, so like I said, I kind of have to pounce this one a little bit because of this situation here. So again, this stencil came in a big pack of a bunch of different stencils. I remember I got it during quarantine because one of the stencils in the package was "Let's Stay Home." But yeah, they were on sale and they were really super cheap, and they are not a good quality stencil, so you get what you pay for. That is one thing, the JRV stencils are super good quality. They're nice and thick. So, Saturday is our last day at the store. So it is definitely a little bittersweet. I can't believe how fast time flies. So I've had a store now for 7 years, and we've almost been at this location for 4. So it's just kind of crazy how fast. No, I'm wrong. Almost 3 years. Because we were at the other store almost 5. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the new location. Very anxious. Hopefully I'm going to get some more scoop on that tomorrow, but my biggest focus at the moment is just getting packed up and out of this current location. So we're running super sales, really super sales. So this is one of my favorite things to do, is take all the padding off of these old seats and make signs out of them. I just love. I saw it in an antique shop one time where somebody had repurposed a chair seat, and ever since then that's been one of my favorite things to do. Sometimes we use them for classes. Ooh. Okay, Not bad. It's upside down, but kick off your boots and stay a while. Okay, let's set this project aside. And we have yet another one. So this one is an old cabinet door, and we're going to make a chalkboard out of it. And excuse me while I reach, but we're going to use some air dry clay. And this is that same Crayola package that I've been working with. It smells a little funny, to be honest. Okay, so I'm just, this is an old IOD. So what I'm doing is covering up, if you can see, these two little holes where the cabinet pulls were. So I'm just going to make one of these labels and just put it on top of there. And then we'll paint it out. Yours is in the fridge. Oh, okay, your air dry clay. Let's see, which one do we want here? I have real little stamps for writing menu on there, so let's go with this guy. I like this clay a lot. You know me, half the time I'm using the two-part epoxy. I really like that, but sometimes, you know, for a quick project, sometimes I just like this. And even if it cracks a little bit, that kind of makes it look a little more rustic. So these are like the first generation ones. So they don't have that micro ridge. So the way I use those, and boy, I did not dust this with cornstarch, so I hope it pops out easily. Didn't even think of that. It should be okay because it's not an intricate mold. So I just like to push all the clay out, the excess clay, and then kind of bring it back in, away from the sides. Okay, and I was thinking about doing this one in sawmill gravy, but maybe I'll just do the letters in that. Okay, keep your fingers crossed that it pops out okay. Yeah, we have a crack. Okay, I'm going to push back in and try from this side. Like I said, I should have dusted it with cornstarch. Because this clay sticks a little bit. Okay, we lost some on the end, but I'm going to try to smush it back together. Technical term, smush. Okay. All right. You know what? We'll just grab some glue here. And hopefully, it's kind of a mess, so let's see. I'm just going to take this off and use a brush. See, me being a hot mess is, you know, hopefully a confidence builder for you. In case you have doubts that you can do something, if you watch my process, then you'll think, I can do it. Because I'm 10 times neater than her. But don't be too neat. That kind of sometimes holds you back from being creative. Okay. So I'm going to put this over the handle. And I'm going to have to glue that little piece all by itself, I think. I keep doing that. I put the glue, or I put my brushes in the water, and then I need another one. There's a lot of glue on there. Okay, I just have that little piece. Did I put the glue on the right side? We're just going to smush it together here. It'll be fine. Okay, I'll just dab at that a little bit. So I'm not using the blow dryer or the heat gun tonight. So I bought another heat gun thinking that I could expedite a project I'm working on, because I already have one, and I just was working in this house, and I thought, well, I'll just grab one rather than run back to the shop, and that way I'll have an extra one for classes. So I plugged it in, and at first it smelled funny, and I thought, well, you know, sometimes when things are new, they do, you know, smell a little hot. And then it started smoking, so I thought, okay, this is going back. So, okay, so we have our little thing, which is actually the top, because it's going to say menu. So now I'm going to paint it all out in caviar. So the word, you know, the term chalk paint, first of all, Annie Sloan has the market on the term chalk paint, so that's why Dixie Belle's is chalk mineral paint. So some others say chalky style paint or something, but anyway, you can use chalk paint for an actual chalkboard, so you don't have to have specific chalkboard paint. So I'm painting right over this mold. So how you do it is you paint it, and then you go back in the other direction. You just keep coating it until you get complete coverage, which in this case, I'm painting over black, so it's probably not going to take me too much to get a complete coat. But you just keep going one direction and then the other until you have the coverage that you desire. And then you're not going to seal it or anything, but you're just going to prime it with chalk. So the way you do that is just put a piece of chalk on its side and just go over the whole thing, and then you just wipe it off, and then you're ready to use it for chalk. So you can use any color if you want. So Dixie Belle makes a color called Tree Frog Green. It's kind of a sort of a retired color, but it's still available. And that one is a perfect, like, green that you see, you know, and when you were a kid in school, at least when I was a kid, we had some green chalkboards as well as the black ones. Did you ever get to clean the erasers when you were a kid? I don't know why that was always a fun job. You know, you go outside and you just like smack the erasers to get all the dust out of them. Oh, little things that make you happy when you're a kid. So again, I love using old cabinet doors for projects, for art. They're just really perfect backdrop. You can decoupage on them or whatever you want. And I besides my two I'll have to watch my time. We're 40 minutes, but besides these two projects, I have yet, or 3 projects, I have yet another one. And I have a drawer that I want to repurpose into an under bed storage piece. So we're going to put some old wheels on it. Okay, so I kind of want to put this paint going in one direction here. All right, so we're going to set this one aside to dry. And as always, if we don't get all the projects complete, we will definitely follow up like I did with the topiary. So a lot of people like the egg topiary from last week. That was a lot of fun. Okay, let's pull up our truck and let's take a look at the chain. And then we're going to put some grunge and dirt on this. Here, chain's pretty well dry. I'm going to put it there. Now you can't, I'm not seeing a whole lot of rust. It's a little bit rusty. It's good enough, but you can certainly recoat it if you want. It also continues to rust as it sits. So I've got too many projects going in the way here. But what I'm going to do here with this is grab okay, I know I grabbed, here they are, some brushes, some old crappy brushes. I like to save old brushes for wax. So I brought brown and black wax. So I'm just going to use a little bit around the edges. And then I'm going to get my dirt out. I'm going to use some brown and some black. Cabinet door's in the way here. Okay. If I could get any more stuff on this table. Sorry for the noise there. Trying not to get wax on my shirt. Oh my gosh. I keep reaching and it keeps getting farther away. Okay, so this is some brown. Notice the 2 different consistencies on these. This one's older, so it's kind of lumpy, and this one's newer, and it's a little more waxy. I like them both. I like using both of them. So I don't want to cover up a lot of this real good patina that we had on here. So I'm just kind of going around. I'm going to put a little on my truck so it doesn't look so new. Okay. And I'm going to use a little bit of the black. We can wipe it back a little bit. But I don't want to wipe it back too far because we're going to get some dirt on here. So if you've never used this, it is just fun stuff. I'd love to put my hands in here, but I'm dirty enough. But it feels really soft and powdery. But I'm just going to dip my brush in there. And you can do this. You can just kind of sprinkle the dirt on. You can kind of pounce it in. You can swirl it in. You can do whatever you want. I have sprinkled before on with this, but I just love it. It's given me that dirty look that I was going for. So I'm going to go around the outside edges where I put all that black wax. Okay, and then I do have another color of this too. This is the original, and then I think there's ash. This is called earth. And then there's another one. And this one is, no, this one just says Dixie Dirt. That might be this is probably the original then. But this is the one that kind of looks like somebody's ashes. I hate to say that, but it's always what I think when I use it. I use this a lot on, oh, I'm sorry, Kathleen, I didn't see your comments. Next time you comment, I'll bring up the old ones. I don't know whether you saw the bee china cabinet that I did. I used dirt on that, and I loved the way it turned out. Okay, so I'm going to wipe back some of this dirt off the truck and then show you what it looks like. And I think this project will be one and done. We're going to use some wax on the other. Are they two different size lids? How about that? We are going to use some wax on the other one too, and probably some dirt too, so I'm not exactly sure why I'm putting that on there, but because so I don't knock it over. But so I'm just going to kind of rub it in a little bit, and wipe it back. So now we have authentic dirt. So the wax kind of makes it stick a little bit. Now if we feel like maybe we have too much there, oh, it's coming off. Just rubbing it a little bit harder and it's wiping back a little bit. Now I really like it. Okay. What do you think? I think maybe it needs something more. I do. I kind of feel like it needs something more. Maybe I'll put that old truck word on there. I think I will. But I'm not putting the rusty on there. I think that's just dumb. If I can find my scissors. Here they are. Okay. Yeah, it just kind of feels like it needs something a little bit more. Oh my gosh. All right, so we'll just center this above here. And I guess we'll use the sawmill gravy again. I'll use a softer brush and see what happens. Again, this is the Silkscreen Stencil. So we can kind of use a little more paint and work it in. Got a little bit on the chair there. Okay, that's not really crisp and clean either. And again, I think it's just because the surface I'm working on is flexible. But I'm going to let that dry because now I think that's too bright. Here, I'll hold it up the right way. I think that's too bright, but it's not bad. So we'll dirty it up too. Okay. So we're getting that one put out of the way. Let's grab our other one. And I think this one is cute. So we're going to be gluing a hanger on the back of it. I know I grabbed one. I'm trying to find all the stuff I grabbed. But anyway, we're going to put a hanger on the back so that we can hang it up. But let's just do a little bit of black wax on this one. And maybe we'll add a little dirt to it also. And I'm just going to go around the edges with this one. And I'm going to kind of wipe it back right away. Normally, on this surface, it's kind of really soaking it in. Normally I would use another wax first, like a clear wax, to get it started. But, you know, this one's, it's really grungy, so we want it to look kind of grungy, so we're just going for it. This is mahogany wood. It says so on the back. I'm not good at knowing which wood is which. You'd think I would be, but I'm not. Know some basics, and that's about it. I do think that's what this one needed. This definitely sets it off. Sorry, I'm shaking the whole thing. Do a little bit more in the corners there so they don't look so squarish. Oh, might as well do a little bit of dirt, see what happens. Since it's dirt night. It's unofficial dirt night. Oh, I like the way that looks. It's adding kind of just a little bit of a halo around where I already was. A little bit softer. I love it. Alright, take off your boots and stay a while. Let's wipe that off a little. I think it's cute. I like this one. Okay, so we've got that, and then I have, okay. Thank you, thank you. Okay, there's all kinds of stuff in here. I have a glue gun, and I'm making all kinds of noise too. transfer, screwdriver. Okay, so I have these 4 little wheels. These are old furniture wheels. They're wooden. And I have to get the screw out of here to get this thing off of here so that they're flat, and then I can actually glue them with E6000 on the bottom of this. So that'll make it so that it'll glide underneath a bed for storage. So I did not clean this out. That was not good. So let me just kind of... So I thought this looked really industrial. I've had these drawers for about 7 years. I know that because I got them whenever I opened my store the first time. So I'm actually not going to do any painting on the inside because I kind of want to keep it looking industrial. So I thought that was a good opportunity to use some of these transfers, these hot air balloons and clocks. Actually, I have some from the steampunk in here too. So they all kind of, to me, lend themselves to industrial type designs. So kind of happy that these are all in here. I actually think most of these are from the industrial one. So mine, I'll end up getting mixed up. There's still some hot air balloon ones, but there's just different little things in here. So mainly these are black and white type designs. So there are some hot air balloons. So we're just gonna apply them on the inside of this, and I think it'll look pretty cool. So there's this guy. All right, hopefully we have an applicator stick somewhere on this table. He's really cool. Again, I missed your comment, Kathleen. I just keep, every time I look up, it's just fading away. I'll catch it next time. Okay, so here's the handle on this thing. So we'll call this the front. So we'll put, so I think this is going to look kind of cool. It really doesn't matter what's on the inside of it if you put things in it and put it under your bed, right? But it's kind of cool to have a design sometimes on things, embellish things a little bit. So need to find something to rub this with. I have stuff everywhere. You'd think that I would have something to rub this transfer with. Hang on a second. Sorry guys, usually these sticks are everywhere. This isn't a stick, but it's just a little plastic thing. It'll work to rub it. So I know you can't really see what I'm doing, but we'll try to make it work. So I need a flathead screwdriver to get those things off the wheels. And I may go over this after I get the transfers on. I may go over this with some wax. But I just didn't want to do any paint on it. I wanted to do something different. Just kind of liked it the way it was. I always loved the patina on these. Make it work. Yep, that's what yeah, Tim Gunn always says, make it work, designers. I have to have something to show on the TV show tomorrow, right? So I have a couple other little things that I grabbed from the store because we have all kinds of repurposed projects. So I think I might grab those sewing machine drawers we did a couple weekends ago, or weeks ago. And I also have some little jewelry projects and some glassware that was glued together to form like little dresser trays and stuff. So we'll make it work. So we have been on over an hour, so I'm gonna probably put another coat of paint on our chalkboard, and I'm gonna stamp the word menu on the label, and then put it in like one of those little stands, you know, and then that would be, it'll be like a little counter sitter. So I'm going to continue working on this since it's over an hour. I won't keep you guys any longer, but as always, I so appreciate you joining me. And I'm going to turn this back up. All crooked. Almost lost it there. So anyway, I do appreciate you joining me tonight. And stick around to see the rest. Okay, all right, Kathleen, you have a good night, and everybody else that's watching. And I'll show you the finished project soon. So take care.